Hey everyone, my name is Mikala and welcome back to the channel, to Mikala's Trip for Ride and Reviews, to where we review TV shows, cartoons, live actions, movies and books that matter. If you have a question, if you have any suggestions as to what we should react on the channel, let me know in the comment section down below and I will make sure we see fit. And if I see more suggestions get repeated more and more, then that will determine on what we will react first once I put the poll, and that will be what we're going to be doing for the time being. So, without further ado, let's get this started. So in today's review, we're going to be looking at Dungeons & Dragons Roll Call by Molly Alcitak and Xanthi Bomer, who are the authors and responsible for this story. And keep in mind, at the end of this video, there is something that I'm going to have to tell y'all that I end up finding out a month and a week later after discovering this. So without further ado, let's get this started. So today we're going to be focusing on the B plot first, and then the A plot will be next. So here we go. Start with the B plot. So our story begins to where we see our two protagonists named Olivia Aguilar and her best friend Jessica DeSheen. Now, in the middle of their session, Mrs. Aguilar ends up coming in the room and wondering why the girls aren't in bed. So Olivia ends up explaining to her mother that they end up getting too caught up in their game and they'll check the time. So Mrs. Aguilar lets it slide and she tells the girls PJs and teeth brushed by 10, and after that it's lights out. So Jessica is bummed out over the fact that they have to postpone their campaign and leave it where it is. But luckily enough for Jessica, Olivia ends up telling her that she has a plan that can help them along their way in the campaign. So anyways, 10 minutes later, back in Olivia's bedroom, we're getting a question and asked about what she had mentioned earlier about her so what plan. It turns out that Olivia wants to start a D&D Dragons Club at Highland Middle School, and this doesn't end well because Jessica, in a way, is taken back by this, and she felt that Dungeons & Dragons was only fun for 2 people, not for a whole party. Anywho, so we cut to the very next day. As the girls get dropped off at school, they end up meeting the Sams. Sammy Gallard and Sammy Mitchell. And when getting asked about how this vacation had went, Sam ends up telling her that this vacation was great. They went to California and they got taught how to surf by his cousin. So 2 things actually happened at this point. So the first thing is when getting dropped off, Olivia ends up getting questions as to how she's going to invite people to their D&D club. And it is revealed that she's going to end up putting up posters around the school and letting everyone know that the club starts at 3:15. Now we cut to... So now back with the Sams.
Hi, Fruits being editing here. So when Jessica asks Olivia if she's put her experience points into consideration,
because their rival Kelly Bueller and her minions are also running against them, she basically tells them that she doesn't know just yet. She would think about it, and then keep in mind they don't know if they're going to win or not. And when Sam asks Jess if she's going to run for treasure, She ends up declining it and saying that it's too much work, and which is understandable in a way. So, anywho's, at the school library at 3:31, as our main protagonist wait for more people to show up, which into something better, because apparently she likes to run into traps way more than usual. So, as waiting, Olivia is extremely disappointed that no one had showed up. So, when getting questioned, and if Jess had seen anyone, had taken the posters regarding to Kelly, Jess ends up telling her, well, that would sound like her, but she doesn't really tell her the actual truth. What I mean by this? Well, we're going to have to find out way later. But let's keep it pushing. Anyways, so before the session could even get started, it gets interrupted by Tyler. And Jess is shocked, and Olivia is extremely excited that someone had showed up. So when Tyler asks Olivia if he could join, she gladly accepts, and she tells him yes, she can join. And as Tyler joins in a way, Jess ends up getting extremely nervous after he found the poster that was laying on the floor, which is extremely suspicious in a way. But anyway, we want to keep moving. Anyways, so Jess excuses herself from the table because knowing that this will going to take all afternoon to explain to Tyler everything else. She mentions to Olivia that she forgot that she has something to do with her father and she has to go. So, while waiting for her to get picked up or whatever, and on the ride home, Mr. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Anyway, so Mr. DeSheen ends up telling Jess that he ended up wrapping meetings for today, but that's not his main concern. His main concern is he's wondering what was the reason as to why Jessica wanted to get picked up so early, knowing that she stays late playing D&D with Olivia. So, Jess, who is completely bothered by this, she tells her father that someone from the school had joined the club and she doesn't like them at all. So Mr. DeSheen is taken back by this from Jessica's comment and from the information that he learned. So during the way home, he ends up giving a shell to Jessica for her pet crab Hermie, which eventually Hermie is going to end up going out of the shell to end up going inside of a new home. So as Mr. DeSheen tries to button up the mood after giving Jessica the brand new shell for Hermie, things couldn't get any more worse to where he mentions her mother while they pull up in the driveway. Jessica freaks out on the mention of her mother, slams the door, and ends up going inside due to frustrations. So it turns out, before Jessica was even born to begin with, her parents had met during high school when Mr. DeSheen had left the resort to be in high school, and the moment that Jessica was born, that was when that's when her mother had told them, that's when her grandmother had told him that her mother be nothing but trouble, and she was correct as per usual because mothers do know best. So she went to go find her true self by traveling, which we don't know what she mean by that. But hopefully in, the next upcoming book, we would at least get some answers as to wondering what she has been doing, and if she at least, reconsider her decision making from leaving Jess when she was like 3 years old. So the very next day, 2 things do happen here yet again. So first thing that happens here is, as Mrs. Agler ends up driving the girls to school, Olivia ends up questioning Jess if it still bothered her now that Tyler had joined after she forgot about the 6th grade drama, and what if it still bothered her. Jessica ends up lying to Olivia and saying that 6th grade was forever ago, and that doesn't bother her at all, which is kind of foreshadowing. So at the school, when Olivia ends up when Mrs. Agler ends up wanting to talk to Olivia privately, it turns out that she had found out that Olivia isn't too sure if she wants to run for student council or whatever after getting a phone call from Sam's mom and saying that she doesn't really know. And it turns out that it is in fact indeed true. Olivia isn't really too sure if she wants to run for student council like her big sister, because she already started a club and she is going to be going for student council. Still running for student council, so she can't basically maintain 2 things at the same time, because that would lead to burnout. So Mrs. Aguilar ends up, telling Olivia, think of, if it gets in the way, just think about it for the time being, and rightfully so she does. So now we go to the A plot. So in the A plot, our journey begins with Sir Karios, who is on a journey to rescue his sister Corthin, who has sent a distress letter and hasn't heard from her since then, which he now finally enters the mouth of the Endless Caves. As he proceeds to enter the Endless Caves, he meets with a character, the second protagonist, which is Sunny. Sunny ended up getting stuck in a spider web, so she is explaining to Sir Karios that apparently, before her journey even begun, a mysterious thief ended up attacking her in her village and ended up taking the cup of chalice that was granted from the goddess of Mimiki herself to be entrusted in guiding, and now she needs that cup back before it's too late. She also tells him that she managed to track the thief and the dungeon. So that thief is basically around here somewhere, and lo and behold, it gets crazy. So before the conversation can continue, and after getting told to be extremely careful, they end up getting attacked by the 2-head monster Ethan, and for that matter. And the battle itself is extremely good, as Sir Karios versus Aaron and versus fighting Polygon Team with 30 power. Sorry, I had to dare it. It was there. But anyways, as this battle continues, they put up a very good instant fight after Sir Karios throws a fire explosive potion at him, but sadly enough, he gets overpowered, and things aren't looking good for Raiden. So before hope is all lost, Sunny ends up casting a powerful spell, which ends up defeating Aaron and end up saving Socrates' life. And what brings to the point where he ends up telling Sunny that all that matters is trying to save Catherine, and from stopping her to plunge the whole world to the knee or whatever. So the gang end up celebrating their victory, which is a job well done. And Olivia is extremely proud of Jess that she is now, finally open up a little bit and allowing Tyler to be with them and joining their adventures. So, as the second session wraps up, two things do happen here yet again. So the first one is as things are wrapping up and Jess ends up telling Olivia that their favorite show, Demon Overlord, is coming on tonight. She will end up calling her. Tyler ends up catching up to Jess, and they finally end up having that conversation about what had transpired at 6th grade. So Tyler explains that the reason why things had escalated was because everyone kept picking on him and they wouldn't leave him alone. So he thought that if he told everyone and lied that he was dating Jessica, they wouldn't, pick on him as much. And keep in mind, I've been there before, and trust me, believe, it didn't last too long. It didn't really last that long. And so when getting asked why, so Tyler ends up owning his mistakes and getting asked why, he ends up revealing that he ended up getting called gay because apparently he likes drawing. Right. Those are two different things there. And keep in mind, yes, I've been there before. And it only lasted a month because it was getting to the point where it was getting aggravating. So yeah, I kind of understand where Tyler's coming from, and I will be kind of frustrated as well. So anyways, so now we come back to the library to where Olivia's getting all packed up and she's ready to go. The Sams ended up coming in and surprising Olivia, and their poster is amazing. That says, "Vote for Olivia Gallagher and the Sams." And when Olivia questions, did he use all, he must have used all the glue in the art room, and he's like, girl, all of it. Their poster is amazing. So when the Sams wonder if Olivia had officially made up her mind yet, if she's gonna run with them, because keep in mind, they only have, not only that Kelly Bueller and her minions are running, but they only have a certain amount of time before they get put with a rando. So, as per usual, Olivia really doesn't know, and what she had told her mom and telling the Sams now is that she wasn't too sure, and that she already started the Dungeons and Dragons Club, and if she runs for student council, she's not going to have time for both things to squeeze into her schedule. So, but luckily enough, she tells them both that she will think about it in the time being. So we cut to both Sir Kyrus and Sunny, who are battling a Billy Wonk, for that matter. Things could not escalate any further, because the moment that this happens, Sir Kyrus himself ends up setting the bullywog, and Sonny to the plunge with him, and Olivia and Tyler are shooketh about what had transpired. I'm like, what are you doing? Even Olivia's like, you did what? She is completely dumbfounded. Tyler ends up running off because now he's like crying in mid-tears. And she was saying that, well, he's annoying, and then Sarah Pierce almost him out. And she's like, you're not supposed to kill off other players. That's not how that works. At all. That's terrible. Poor Tyler. So anyways, so before the second session before the first session started, remember how when Jessica told me that she was gonna go to the bathroom ever? So it turns out, while coming from the girls' bathroom, she ended up running to Kelly and her minions and watching them make fun of him and to question how long it took him to draw Sonny and how long it took for him to save her babes. I'm like, y'all are teenagers. Why are we talking like this? Why are we bullying Tyler? Like, leave the man alone. And personally, that right there, this can get you into trouble. Oh my goodness. Anyway. So before things keep, anyways, so as that all happened here, I forgot to mention, so it has been approximately 3 days since this whole entire thing escalated. And, ever since she had done that, Jessica would have thought that Olivia had at least apologized, but apparently she did not. That this day, the next day or the day after, and between those days, Olivia ends up telling the Saints that she will be running with them for student council against Kelly and her minions. So, the very next day, Mr. Desheen takes Jessica to a nearby desert to play baseball with and to at least finding out what had happened between her and Olivia. And it turns out that she and Olivia aren't friends anymore, and she thinks that no one wants to be her friends and no one likes her, which is not true. So before the mother had, left and, travel, whatever, we end up learning that once, Jessica was born and, the mother had left, his friends are like the real MVPs because they had long leftover food, clothes, knickknacks, whatever the case may be, and they helped out a lot while he was, in school, which is a complete, major W for him as well. Like, it is extremely hard, but I give him his flowers and the dedication of it out. He does deserve that whatsoever. So, back at Highland Middle School, as Mr. Sheen dropped just off, she ends up, running into Tyler again as he's getting bullied by Kelly. Is questioning what he has for lunch, and Tyler, this was your moment, and you literally had one job, buddy. He tells her off, but before anything could escalate, this is so anyway, the librarian, for that matter, ends up stepping in, and kind of weird, just one more place, and we're back. Sorry about that. So what was I going to play? So before things escalated, Miss Perez steps in and takes control of the situation before things can escalate into a fight, which she handles so perfectly. So later on that same day, Jessica and Olivia finally have that conversation, and they both apologize to each other for what had happened. If Jessica had told Olivia how she truly felt, or whatever, which I am very proud of, and they agreed to never argue against a fight ever again. So we cut back with, so after Sunny gets taken out of Punch Doom, it turns out that she actually survived and she actually found the heart of the dragon, which is where that mystery thief is at, which is none other than Corathan. So Corathan ends up monologuing about how her true plans about opening up a portal into freeing Prince Gusty, so he can fulfill his plans. What are his true plans? We don't know yet. But in mid-conversation, she also reveals that she needs a cartoonish amount of demon blood in order for the portal to be open. But luckily enough, Sunny ends up telling her that not only a god can use it, but their mentors as well. And oh my goodness, Sunny with the clutch. She ends up casting and activating the cup of Mimiki into putting down Corathan for the time being, because and now that she's holding place, they have finally completed the mouth of the Endless Kings, which is amazing. So, as the story concludes, the PA announcer has finally come on, and this is where we finally get to see who the winner is. And the announcer ends up revealing that the winner is none other than Kelly Bueller herself. I do not understand how she won, but pretty much just revealing that it must have been her ruthless tenacity and to forcing people to vote for her. So now it's going to be Halloween theme as per usual, with costumes, and then all that stuff with cupcakes and stuff like that. Yeah, they don't get that at all. So the Sims ends up barging in, and they are pretty much upset because their posters were very good, and I'm very proud of them both for giving it their best and their all. And lo and behold, when the Sims asked again if they could join, both Sir Curious and Sunny agree that they can join. And that is the conclusion and review of D&D Dungeons Roll Call. Oh my goodness. I want to deeply apologize on how long this took me, because I had to write my own synopsis in a way that took at least 3 or 4 more days, but I legit took my time and patience to do so. But anyways, before we end this off here, apparently there's this 3rd installment that's coming out in September which is the last third book in a way, and I am so upset how this series is coming to a close, but all good things must come to an end. And I personally cannot wait until September the 31st. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and like I said, I do apologize for the lack of uploads. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and as always, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, keep God first, and bless up.